You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk. What's going on? This episode is going to be about Quentin Tarantino and his films, and I don't know, I guess rating them and stuff. This is The Objective Jerk, and I'm said jerk. How's everyone doing? I actually cleared out my throat and blew my nose so I wasn't like gargling phlegm and crap like I usually do. Once I start talking, I start, and I do listen to my podcast. So anyway, man, has anybody seen the recent picture of Clint Eastwood? Gosh, he is definitely. I mean, he's 94, I want to say, but he's always looked pretty good for his age, I thought. But it's definitely, as you get older, you start shrinking more and more. Because he's a tall individual. I want to say at least 6'2" in his prime or whatever you want to call it. But he is just definitely looking old. And it's gonna be sad when he goes. I mean, it's always sad, I guess, whatever. But it's just, I've known who Clint Eastwood was my whole life. Grew up on his movies, not always liking them, but he's one of my favorite actors. People say like, oh, he always plays the same character, and I'm like, well, when he's playing a badass, I guess it's kind of the same. But he would play romantic comedies and some other stuff, and had a little more humanity in the character. I don't know, but yeah, when his tough guy was kind of always the same. But that's like with everybody. Arnold, The Rock, they always play the same, and people love it. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. But so it was yesterday or the day before or something like that. My son, who is 17, he, out of my kids, he's the only one that really kind of likes movies, and I'll try and expose him to various films and this and that, And he asked me what my favorite. See, it's already coming back. Gosh, it's just here. This place gives me. I always have phlegm here, but anyway, he asked me my favorite film, and then asked me my least favorite, I guess, and I had to think about it, and then I was sitting there kind of just thinking about it. I'm like, huh, and I was kind of in my head briefly, just kind of thinking what my favorite ones were in order and stuff, and then so I thought I would just. Record a podcast talking about it, because I mean, I'm kind of not really paying attention to movie stuff anymore. Like, there are certain YouTube channels I still watch, but I don't really watch as much because I don't care about the films that come out, and I haven't really seen somebody do rank Quentin Tarantino. I mean, I'm sure there is. The ones that I've watched, I can't remember seeing any, so. Not that I'm, the tip of the spear or anything like that, but I just, I thought, what the hell? I have a podcast. I have a microphone, and you don't. So no. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Quentin Tarantino and his films. So supposedly, he's only doing 10 films, and he's working on his last one right now, and it's the critic, something with a critic, a film critic. So from what I've heard, I'm like, I don't know, but I was kind of like that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too. When I heard the premise, I was just like, what? I don't know about that, but it was pretty good, but it's not in my top. Let's see, where am I at? Yeah, it's actually my lower. surprisingly, I guess. Anyway, so here we go. So let's see. I'm just gonna do my list and I guess share why. That's how this works, right? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait, what? Oh, because that counts as one. Kill Bill. Duh. Okay. So let's see. My least favorite. I'm gonna start off with Jackie Brown. Which I guess is the third of his crime films. I guess he's got, what do you call it? It's let me see if it says it on here. His crime. I don't know. He just, he did 3 movies about like gangsters and crime, and then he did, the Kill Bill. But I guess that was kind of only 2. Death Proof and everything, and so I don't know. Actually, I don't know how that. But then he's kind of got his western. But anyway, so Jackie Brown was based on a book. The screenplay is by Quentin Tarantino, and I remember being excited about this film because I was kind of just getting into films, and I loved his first 2, but I don't know. I was a little disappointed in this one. Not that it's bad. First of all, I guess I forgot to say that none of his films are bad. Like he has certain films, the ones that I like, I'll watch regularly. Other ones I've only seen Jackie Brown once. And I probably should watch it again. Because it's been a long time. Like I saw it when it first came out, so it's been 30 years almost. So I guess, is it 30? Well, not yet, but anyway, it's got a lot of cool stuff in it, but I don't know. It just, for me, didn't work that well. I don't know. It just seemed kind of slow, and some of the dialogue and some of the stuff was entertaining and stuff, but I don't know. I didn't really like Robert Forster. Is that how you say his name? I don't know. I don't know. I know like Quentin Tarantino likes to give roles to actors that he kind of grew up watching, or maybe younger ones that he just kind of admired, But I don't know. It just kind of, for me, I didn't really like it. So that's my least favorite so far. And then next would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a great movie. I've only seen it once. I started watching it again, but I kind of just lost interest. Like, it has great scenes, and there's certain parts that are awesome, but as a whole film, I don't know, I think it just has some parts that I just kind of get bored and almost want to fast forward, or skip or whatever. So it's not the complete, because he does his films in like different sections or in different orders or whatever. And I don't know. There's a lot of great parts to it. The ending is hilarious and awesome. But it just, again, it just kind of, I think the dialogue is much better than some of his earlier films, but it just kind of, I don't know, just missed it for me as well. Again, not a bad film. I did enjoy it, but as far as, when did that come out? In 2019. So as far as movies that came out that year, that's going to be at the top of the list. But as far as his films, it's towards the bottom for me. Now, next one. So I guess I don't know. I should have. Anyway, the next one that's my least favorite from, so I got Jackie Brown, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now I got the Kill Bill films, which I love some kung fu, and I know he was kind of going for that old 70s, some of the kind of crazy kung fu stuff. But the thing that kind of ruins the film for me is some of the dialogue. Like, it seems corny to me, some of it. It's got some of his more kind of corny dialogue, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know. And it's mainly what's her face? Oh, I gotta click on it so I can. I can't even remember Volume 2. I don't even remember that film except for the end. That's the only part I remember. I gotta watch them again. I own some of these. I don't own enough. I need to get more. I need to buy them all. That's my plan eventually. Maybe once I'll kind of wait till he gets his 10th movie and they'll release like a big, the complete whatever films of Quentin Tarantino. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it just some awesome parts in it again. I think the first one is more enjoyable than the second one. See, I can't even remember the second one. I gotta watch them again. I guess it's kind of an unfair critique or rating because some of these movies I haven't watched in a while. All right, see, it comes back. But yeah, just some of the dialogue from Uma Thurman just kind of, I don't know. Some of it just kind of bugged me. I'm trying to think of, like, when she's in the car in the first one, when she's in the truck and she's crawling around, barely getting around, and she's trying to get her toes to move, and she's like, "Come," I don't know, just like some of that stuff just was like, I don't know. It just do it for me. It just didn't do it for me. So I don't know. But I'm kind of grouping those together, Kill Bill 1 and 2. But between I guess if I had to, I'd be 2 and then 1. I like 1 more than 2, just because like the I do the animated scene where it shows her getting fucked up at the church, on her wedding day, and then I like the fight between her and Vivica Fox, and obviously at the house and where it goes black and white because it was so bloody and stuff like that. And again, it was like over the top extreme violence stuff, which I don't know, sometimes I like, sometimes I don't. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm just weird, I guess. But so that's it. So my third least favorite, or I don't even know how to say that, is the Kill Bill films, right? Okay, next would be Django Unchained, which is an awesome, awesome movie. So I'm getting, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2. So 6. This is my top, so almost my top 5. So 80% of this film, maybe even like 90%, I love. But I think Samuel L. Jackson, I don't know, it's really good because the characters are so detestable. Is that a word? Like what's his face? DiCaprio, he did an awesome job. I mean, he plays, you just do not like him, Same with Samuel L. Jackson's character, and I guess that's kind of the point. And I don't know, everybody did an awesome job. It's a really great movie. It really is, but it's just the movies, the rest, that my top 5 are just I like better than this one. You know what I mean? Again, great film, but not as great as the next ones. And I think people are going to be like, "Well, hold on." Like it so they might be like, "You like." So my next one is Death Proof. So they're like, "You like Death Proof better than Django Unchained?" Yeah, I don't know. The Death Proof has some corny dialogue again. Some of that dialogue of Quentin Tarantino's that's just, like where he's like, "That is a tasty beverage," when they take shots of liquor. It's just, it's Quentin Tarantino, but just that it was kind of like almost a horror film that he did, and it was, I think Kurt Russell was really good and creepy, and just the how he killed, his victims, and the humor was funny. My least favorite part is the bar scene where they're in the bar for a while and everybody's hitting on the girls or whatever at that first. But once they're dead, the whole rest of the film, where the people that make films, and I think the movie's awesome, and the racing and the stunts, and I don't know, I thought it was, I just thought it was hilarious when they shot Kurt Russell's character and he's just acting like a little bitch, and then the chicks just whoop the shit out of him at the end. I don't know, I liked it. I don't like girl boss stuff, but it wasn't really girl boss. It was, chicks taking out a douchebag. I don't know. I like that movie. That's a movie I don't own that I would really like to. I mean, I want to, like I said, own them all, but I don't own that one. All right, next is The Hateful Eight. A lot of people don't like this film, I guess. But, and I just watched the Netflix like extended version where it breaks it down into like 4 episodes, which I was kind of interesting. So I just watched that, and I don't know, man. This movie, I think, really everything that Quentin Tarantino was going for, the 60s, 70s, I don't know, old school kind of Western style, and then where he throws his violence in at the end. I mean, there's violence through the whole thing, I guess, but it works. The music, the cinematography, his shots, and the dialogue is better. When they're talking about the Lincoln letter and just various things, and I don't know, like this one just kind of works for me. All the characters are interesting. Even the Bob, the Mexican dude that, and the only part I think that I don't like is when Tarantino voices like a section where he's got to kind of explain what's going on or something. And I just like it better when they leave it up to you to kind of figure out, I don't know. But other than that, I love that movie. I don't own it. I won't, but that's hopefully soon, maybe. But like I said, I just watched it on Netflix I watched like the first 2 episodes, and then I had my son watch it with me. That's when we had this conversation I was talking about. But Samuel L. Jackson is awesome. I love his character in the film. Bruce Dern, he's so great. Ever since the Cowboys, the John Wayne film, where he killed John Wayne, and dude, I remember as a kid, he scared me. He was almost more scarier than like Freddy Krueger or something. So good. And then what's his name? Walter Goggins. He's always great. And then I mean, they're all great. Kurt Russell. To me, I love Tim Roth, but I kind of felt like he was kind of imitating what's his face? Christoph Waltz. Like I kind of got a Christoph Waltz kind of vibe. You know what I mean? But it's all right. But yeah, it's pretty good. I like that movie a lot. All right, next would be Reservoir Dogs, his first film, which you think it would have the most of his kind of corny dialogue, but it actually doesn't. Because it seemed like to me his dialogue got a little bit better. He's I don't know, like at first, or some of his stuff is like he's really trying to put his flair, like the tasty beverage, and just certain things that he says probably on a regular basis he puts in the film. Which if I was to write something or write a film, I would be doing the same thing. I'd be, but But yeah, so Reservoir Dogs, great film. It's his first film. Um, Long cuts, you know, a little back and forth, some great dialogue and some, gratuitous violence and yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie. So what's not to like about it, right? So now what do I got left? People that are Quentin Tarantino fans know what's left. Which one am I gonna choose as my number one? Well, so my next, so my number two favorite, I guess you would say, is Pulp Fiction. And probably people were like, "What?" So that leaves, yes, Inglourious Basterds. But yeah, Pulp Fiction. So that was actually the first film of his I saw. I saw it when I was in high school. Um, I I did not see it in theaters. I saw it when it first came out on video. My older sister rented it and watched it, and I watched it, and so yeah, it was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I just remember watching it all the time, going to parties and houses. People always had it on. I even showed the clip um, of when Mia Wallace ODs and Vincent Vega crashes into the house of his drug dealer. What's his face? Um, where's he at? Eric Stoltz. And that, so from that point on to where they're trying to get the needle and give her the adrenaline shot and all that kind of stuff, I show that in my I had a project for my, it was in high school. I was a senior. I don't remember what subject it was, but I did it on heroin. And I had a relative that I didn't even really do any kind of research because I have a relative that, had issues with heroin, and they explained to me, everything about it. They weren't on it anymore, and they went to rehab for it and everything. And then when they're in rehab, they actually educate you a lot on. So I mean, they just laid it out, and I just okay, took all that information, and that was my project. And then I showed the clip from Pulp Fiction, which I thought would be cool and funny. Teacher didn't like it so much, but I got dang it, what did I get? I either got an A minus or a B plus. And she said the clip didn't really support my paper. So like, what I wrote or what I presented didn't coincide, which is, she wasn't wrong. But I just wanted to show that clip. I thought it was funny. Well, it's funny though, is I remember I got the tape and I, got it right to the spot where it had to go, and then we had the TV and the VCR in the class, and so I put the tape in, and it starts right there as soon as they crash into his house, and he's like, and I didn't I forgot just how much they curse and everything at that point, and as it's playing, it's just like, are you fucking the motherfucker, and I was just like, oh crap. Yeah, they say that a lot in here. I've kind of, I forgot about all that, so maybe that's kind of why. But anyway, so yeah, so great film. I think this is like the most people's favorite film. Everybody's awesome in it. Like it's. I could almost, maybe not so much now, but I could almost verbatim just quote that film as I'm watching it. You know what I mean? Because I watched it so much when I was younger. But anyway, yeah, so that's number one, two. So number one is Inglourious Basterds. So, and I think, or no, after Inglourious Basterds, he had Django Unchained, and then he did Hateful Eight. So Hateful Eight and Inglourious Basterds are kind of similar to me. If Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs were worse or not created, then I think Hateful Eight would be just behind Inglourious Basterds, because I loved Inglourious Basterds' music, cinematography, and then just some of his shots and just the way it, And then the dialogue, even though you're reading a lot of it for most people, that first scene is just epic, and then the end is hilarious and violent, and crazy at the same time. But what's funny though is I love Samuel Jackson, and Samuel Jackson is in pretty much every film. And technically, he's in this film, but he does the little voiceover for explaining the old school film, how it's, um, very, what do you call it? Volatile. It can burn easy. I don't know. There's another word, but I can't think of what. Um, but I like World War II, and you know, just the dialogue, and then the bar scene, and just some of the weirdness is just it works for me better than in other films. Like it makes me laugh. And like Stieglitz, Hugo Stieglitz, when it shows stuff with him. What's the guy's name? Let me see. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? What's his name? I don't know what this guy's name is. Oh, Till what? Till Schweiger? Dang, dude. He's in a lot of films, but I didn't know his name. But everything with him is like hilarious, and probably my least favorite is Tim Roth. I think maybe it would have been cooler to have Adam Sandler in it, because I guess that's who originally Quentin Tarantino wanted to be the bear Jew. So that would have been kind of interesting, because Adam Sandler, his goofball stuff some people don't like, but then his serious roles, they love. So I think, I don't know, it would have been kind of interesting. But I don't know, this movie's hilarious, where he's with Brad Pitt is hilarious in it. And I don't know, it's just my favorite. It's not my favorite movie, but it's my favorite Tarantino movie. I wanted to see though, so he does the voice, Pulp Fiction, obviously Samuel Jackson, also Reservoir Dogs. He's not in that. I think that's it. Death Proof. Is he in that at all? Maybe not. Maybe that's the other one that's more not recent, but once Pulp Fiction, it was like Samuel Jackson's been in everything. I'm trying to look and see if he's got. Nope. So it looks like he's not in that. Like at all. So you got Reservoir Dogs. You got Death Proof. Oh, I guess yeah. Okay, duh. Kill Bill. He's not in that either, is he? I'm looking to see if he has any kind of parts. I don't remember him or anything being in it. So I guess he's not in the Kill Bill films either. That's true. And then now that I think about it, is he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I don't think he is. Oh, Samuel Jackson's in Kill Bill Volume 2. The organ. See, I don't even remember that. At the wedding. Beatrix and Tommy's wedding. He's the organist. Excuse me. See, I don't remember that. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think he's in that at all either. Is he? Or is he like on the radio? Is that what, maybe? Let me see. I'm looking. Because there's a lot of people in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Bear with me. Some people are like, dude, yeah, he plays this. I don't see him in there. So yeah, okay. So you got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kill Bill Volume 1, Death Proof, and Reservoir Dogs. So that's more than I was thinking. I was thinking there was like 2 that he wasn't in, but Anyway, it's gonna it's gonna suck when there's no more Tarantino films to look forward to. But excuse me. But at the same time, it's like, he's going out on a, I mean, because all of his movies are pretty damn good, if not awesome. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't made a bad film, I don't think. Like I said, there's some films that are inconsistent. Like, it has awesome parts and some parts that aren't so great. And that's kind of basically how it is for me. I think Inglourious Bastards is great all the way through. Same with Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Hateful Eight, and then Death Proof. Like I said, the beginning's okay. The second half is great. Django Unchained. I think maybe I should move that up. Well, it should maybe be ahead of Death Proof. I really like the last part of Death Proof, but I don't know. And then Kill Bill, like, it has cool stuff, but some stuff I'm like, eh. And then same thing with the rest. And then Jackie Brown almost seems like, maybe it's because it's based off a book that he did not write. Maybe that's why it's not one of his best. I don't know. But I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so God, see, I sneezed. Now I got. So, after this next one with the critic or whatever, let me see. I'm gonna read. What was the last movie he did? Oh, I'm right on it. Okay, let's see. Scroll down and see like future films, or you know what? I'll just click on him. Duh. Wikipedia is awesome, but the thing that sucks is like just anybody can edit stuff though. Like I always tell my kids, Wikipedia is a good starting point for if you're researching something. Like it's a good, place to start, but it's not, you got to use a lot of various references. Okay, hold on. Where am I at on top? Man, I've been talking for a half hour already. Shoot. Okay, I want to. So Quentin Tarantino's written some books too. I saw a video on YouTube where he's discussing some older movies that influenced him and that he liked, and I think I kind of missed it a little bit because I was doing something, but I think it was AI voice based off of his book that he wrote about it. So so it sounded. I thought it was him talking about it. Like I thought it was his own little YouTube thing, but it wasn't. So it's like AI of his voice, but it's all from the text in a book he wrote. So it's his words. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, no. Let's see. So it's not showing it yet. I know it's like the critic or something like that. Hold on. I know there's probably people that like know this answer already, but I'm trying to act like I'm ahead of the game. Come on. Oh yeah, he did 4 Rooms too. He did a segment. If you haven't seen 4 Rooms, watch it. It's so funny. He did the last one. There's a few. I can't remember the other directors. I know. What's his nuts that did Desperado and stuff has one that's pretty good. That's a great movie if you haven't seen it. So he's written, scripts, True Romance, Natural Born Killers, been, various whatever. So he does a lot of stuff, and I think that's what he's going to continue writing. That's for sure. Even if this critic film is his last film that he directs, I could see him directing maybe an episode of a show or a small, like 4 Rooms kind of thing or something maybe. But I say, unless maybe he comes up with something and he just gets a chance to, like he's always wanted to direct a Star Wars film, I guess. Maybe if that opportunity came up, then he would direct, I am trying to find. I know I've read some information on it before. Dang it. I'm not finding any information on it. I wanted to kind of share it for those that don't know. 2013. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Man. Where did I watch something, or I thought I read something about it? But anyway, so it's gonna be a film. I think it's a period film again, maybe the 80s at the newest or latest as far as, but I think it's gonna take place in the 70s, and it's about a film critic, which you think like that sounds boring, but with Quentin Tarantino, he makes boring into something crazy. I was hoping to find. I guess maybe it hasn't really been revealed too much. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on Quentin Tarantino, um, in his films. Let me know what you think, or what your favorite, or if you don't, or if you want me to stop my podcast. Let me know. Um, but thanks for joining me. I'm almost to 40 minutes now, so I gotta end this. So again, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye. Hey, do me a favor, and however you're either listening or watching this, please give it a like or subscribe or follow or whatever, and then do me another favor and give me a little comment. Let me know what you think, or just a thumbs up, I guess. Whatever, it all helps. I appreciate it, and have a good one.